Every single day, it gets scanned more than 5 billion times, and yet almost nobody gives it a second look. The whole story began, wife a finger, dragged through the sand. This is the barcode, an invention the world simply wasn't ready for. The year is 1948. Bernard Silver, a graduate student at the Drexel Institute of Technology in Philadelphia, overhears a conversation that will reshape the future of shopping. The president of a local grocery chain called Fudd Fair is begging one of the deans for a system that could read product information automatically at the checkout. Silver tells his friend, Norman Joseph Woodland. Woodland is hooked. Together they start hunting for a solution. They try ultraviolet ink, but it's too expensive and far too unstable. They need something simpler, something that won't fall apart. Woodland can't stop thinking about the problem. He travels down to a beach in Miami to clear his head. And there, sitting in the warm sand, he stumbles onto an idea that will change everything. He remembers Morse code from his days as a Boy Scout. Dots and dashes. Almost absent-mindedly, he drags his fingers through the sand. The dots of Morse code stretch into thin lines, the dashes into wide ones. He stares at the pattern end, suddenly understands. He's just drawn a new language, one a machine could read. He has no idea yet that this accidental sketch will reshape how billions of people shop. Woodland builds the first reader from a 500-watt light bulb and a photo multiplier pulled out of a movie projector. Leigh shines through the paper, and a sensor on the other side reads the pattern. It works, but it's the size of a desk. It throws off more heat than information, and it devours electricity like a small factory. On October 20th, 1949, Woodland and Silver file their patent application. On October 3rd, 1952, they're granted patent number 2,612,994. They describe two versions. The first is a set of simple parallel lines. The second is a circular pattern, like a shooting target. They have the patent. They have the vision. What they don't have is the technology. Lasers don't exist yet, computers fill entire rooms, and no store is about to invest in a system nobody has tested. So de-invention goes on a shelf, literally and figuratively. Nearly 2 decades will pass before D-World grows into D-Idea. Woodland and Silver sell the patent to a company called Philco for $15,000. After a while, Philco sells it on to the giant RCAJ, but there too the project lands quietly in a desk drawer. For the next decade and more, the barcode stirs no interest at all. It's a solution to a problem nobody seems to have. In 1963, Bernard Silver, the same student who 15 years earlier overheard that conversation in a Drexel hallway, dies suddenly of a heart attack. He's 38 years old. The first barcode scan is still 11 years away. The man who started it all will never see his invention change the world. So what had to change for the world to finally notice? What changed was the world around it. By the late 1960s, supermarkets are sprouting up everywhere. End lines at the checkout become a nightmare for owners and customers alike. The grocery industry is desperate for a way to speed things up. In 1969, ARCAJ, the Radio Corporation of America, pulls that forgotten patent back out of the drawer. It presents a barcode system to the National Association of Food Chains. This time the industry listens, and a race for the future of retail begins. Then AJBM enters the game. The giant learns about Woodland's work, and here's the irony. He's been working at AJBM for years, so they move him to a team in North Carolina. At last, Woodland can finish what he started on that Miami beach a quarter of a century earlier. AJBM hands the project to an engineer named George Laura. Laura has to crack one crucial problem. Woodland's circular pattern smears when it's printed. The ink spreads, and the reader can't make sense of it. So Laura proposes something simpler: parallel vertical lines. It's a brilliant fix. When the ink bleeds during printing, the lines just get a little taller, but they stay readable. A circular pattern would have warped beyond recognition. Together with Woodland and a mathematician named Dejwid Savir, Laura refines the system we know today as DUPC, the Universal Product Code. In 1973, a selection committee picks AJBM's proposal. They beat RCAJ and its circular design. The decision is made. The future of shopping will look like a set of black and white stripes. June 26, 1974, 8:01 in the morning. A Marsh supermarket in Troy, Ohio. A cashier named Sharon Buchanan scans the very first product in history, wife a Jew PC code, at the request of Clyde Dawson, the head of research for the Marsh chain. That product is a 10-pack of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit gum. Dawson chose the gum on purpose. He wanted to prove to the skeptics that the barcode could work even on the smallest packaging. The price? 67 cents. That very pack of gum later ends up in the National Museum of American History in Washington. But the revolution doesn't happen overnight. Stores have to invest in expensive scanners. Manufacturers have to redesign their packaging. And customers? They don't trust the new technology. They're afraid the registers will charge them the wrong prices. Nearly a decade passes before barcodes become the standard. Today, there are more than 1 billion unique barcodes in the world, each one identifying a specific product in a global database. They're on every item, every package, every plane ticket. It's estimated they're scanned more than 5 billion times a day. Woodland didn't live to see that scale. He died in 2012. But in 1992, the president awarded him the National Medal of Technology, and the story of the stripes kept going. In 1994, a Japanese engineer named Masahiro Hara at a company called Denso Wave created DEQ-R code, short for Quick Response. It's a square pattern that holds hundreds of times more information than the old lines. Invented for Toyota's factories, today it's on every restaurant menu and every ticket. So next time the scanner at the checkout beeps, think of that student in Philadelphia who overheard a conversation in a hallway. Think of the young inventor drawing in the sand on a Miami beach. And think of a 67-cent pack of gum that changed the way we buy absolutely everything. Subscribe so you don't miss the next story of an object you know, but don't really know at all. Because the barcode isn't a set of random lines. It's a language dreamed up by a man sitting on a beach, a language the whole world now speaks. How many other languages like it are hidden inside the objects you walk past every single day?